through a series of circumstances at about 25, 26 years old, I ended up running this scenery company, being in charge of essentially 300 men, all of who are fantastic humans, by the way. But I was completely unprepared to have that kind of responsibility. However, one of the things I had to do was a production of Kate Manne at the Marquee a bajillion years ago. And I showed up on stage, and the TD at the time, this was a long time ago, but I came through the stage door and I walked on the deck, and he at the top of his lungs said, "No women on my stage. Go stand in the orchestra." Now, if somebody said that to me now, I would have responded very differently than I did at 25 or 26. At 25 or 26, I, of course, went and stood in the orchestra.
I mean, I will say there was something that I really remember that sticks with me to this day. I was outside a room. I would say a baby producer. I had a very successful feature come out, and things were happening, right? Like things were moving, and we had more investors and more opportunities. And I was outside a room with some people who I thought were my friends, and who to my face were absolutely my friends. And one of them was a pretty powerful woman in the industry. And I heard her say, "Oh, that's Summer Crockett. She's so ambitious. Ugh, I mean, who does she think she is?" And I remember thinking, I thought being ambitious was a good thing. And then she said, you can't go as far as you want to. She needs to learn there are limits. And I waited to go into the room until this conversation was done. And the meeting that I ended up having with her was a very useful one, because she wanted me to reset my expectations on what I could achieve and how quickly, because I was a woman. And it was very disappointing. And all it really did was make me a little bit angry, which made me a little bit tougher.
What I realized as I got into a position of responsibility is to challenge that and change it into a way to open the path for other women. That the gender makeup of our crews and our companies and our office was a little bit better, did not reflect my trying to make sure we had a gender balanced environment. And so I decided I was going to change that. Frozen was a very good example. In the early days of Frozen, in the song Monster, she was running around in what essentially was a negligee, to which myself, Kirsten Lopez, and several other people went, she wouldn't be doing that. We don't all put on heels and a ball gown to go and which is why Elsa's in pants in the second act. I can't tell you the number of times that a voice has come from a sound engineer who's a woman or a lighting associate who's a woman to say, I don't know, that doesn't feel right. This feels right. It's those kind of choices that help change the dynamic I experienced in the early days of my career.
To this day, when somebody says, "Oh, that person's ambitious," I'm like, good. We should be. What's the worst that could happen? We fail. Think about what you really want, and think about the best way to get there that honors who you are and what you want and what you value, and also the people at the table across from you. Because when you come together as a team, you're going to get there a lot faster.